for Cultural Association. We've done this program now for 21 years. The program is approved in 46 states. It's a group life insurance program. I want to emphasize it's a group life insurance program for Cultural Association, guaranteed without any pre-existing medical condition. Please, cultural community, there's no need for GoFundMe. We have a program designed for Cultural Association. Please, if you want to know more about this program, visit our website, www.culturalgroupbenefits.com, or call me directly, 763-593-5107. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to our Africa Weekly News at Tempa Africa TV with Ellie Naimal. New updates we have coming for you. A lot is coming out of Ethiopia. They are playing politics pretty hard in the last couple months, actually since the war. With some of the things that have been going on in Ethiopia with WHO and Africa Union are having their summit this year, and also what are the new updates that we are going to share with you according to the mask mandate, vax mandate, and things that have been thrown out of the door. The people have been fighting hard this entire year, and a lot of things that are not covered mainly by the news for the world to see and to be aware of. So we're going to give you that update today on this weekly news. First, we're going to start with WHO Director Tedros getting backslashed and slammed by the Ethiopia Prime Minister, especially the whole government system of Ethiopia. WHO chief faces accusations of COVID cover-up and genocide in Ethiopia. Not COVID, genocide. There has been a lot of cover-up that he has been defending, and Ethiopia did not like it very well. Just last week, the government of Ethiopia sent a letter to the World Health Organization accusing its Ethiopian Director General of misconduct after his sharp criticism of the war and the humanitarian crisis in the country. As we previously been reporting, the genocide in Ethiopia, with Tigray being displaced in the neighboring country of Sudan, and also the hunger that was on a rise and things of that. Other side of Ethiopia are saying a lot of it is drama and majority of it cannot be verified. And with still Prime Minister of Ethiopia is still standing his ground to fight against any accusations of the Ethiopian genocide, and now it has taken on with the World Health Organization, Tedros. The leadership of the World Health Organization, WHO, which slammed Ethiopia, completed a blockade on health and humanitarian aid to Ethiopia's Tigray region. This is what Tedros has stated during his comment before all the backlash went to him, saying it has been unable to deliver life-saving medications for nearly 6 months in a situation that is unprecedented, even in comparison to conflict-wrecked Syria and Yemen. In another way, identifying that other countries have received their humanitarian aids, but Ethiopia has become the most challenging and cannot somehow get the humanitarian crisis through to the Tigray region. Humanitarian access, even in conflict, is the basic. Even in Syria, we had access, even during the worst of conflicts in Syria. In Yemen, we have the same access. We deliver medicines. However, it is a complete blockade, especially since mid-July. Nothing. This 6 months without medical support, and without food, without all the rest of the things, he have also added, it's been impossible. And these are the words from the WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, who hails from the Tigrayan region himself. So he's also from that region. Ethiopian who was nominated Tedros from WHO to be the head of the UN Health Agent for 4 years now. This is how long he's been working with them. Says the Ethiopian have said to them that he has not lived up to the integrity and the professionalism expectation required from his office. And the accusations continue when he started interfering with the Ethiopia internal affair. The Ethiopia Minister of Foreign Affairs also replied, through his act, he spread a harmful misinformation and compromised WHO reputation, independence, and credibility as well. So what did that say going forward for WHO, especially for the director in the Tedros? With him being from Ethiopia and having to say something about what is going on in Ethiopia is definitely a big clash between the native countries. So much more to come to see if will this escalate or will this die off and things will just continue to move forward. Meanwhile, in South Africa have decided to fully open due to the new variant that was unjustified. In the last couple months, Omicron was announced to be the new variant from South Africa that led to travel ban and all the other restrictions against South Africa and the other neighboring countries from the UK and also including USA when President Biden also banned travel bans to Africa. People were trapped in South Africa and other 7 neighboring countries like Zimbabwe and all those other countries as well, and they were not able to get out during the holiday. This has created a controversial issue that the Omicron was not justified and also being claimed later to be a mild variant. So it should not affect the economy and the livelihood of the people. So South Africa said imposing restrictions on travelers from the country because of newly identified COVID-19 variant was unjustified after a British ban of flight from Southern African countries that others have followed. Now, if you guys remember, this was a big issue on Africa to ban anything going into Africa and out of Africa as well. They also have said our immediate concern is the damage that this decision will cause to both the tourism industry and businesses of both countries. South Africa Foreign Minister Pandor said in a statement. Health Minister Joe Pabla told a media briefing that South Africa was acting with transparency and travel bans were against the norms and standards of the World Health Organization, which held an emergency meeting over the variant named Omicron. The WHO designated Omicron as of concern is most serious level following a meeting of his technical advisory group. However, one of the South Africa's top epidemiologists said a global response was important. Nothing the Delta variant spread to about 53 countries within 3 weeks of being identified. So it doesn't really help to close borders. We've also got to find a solution to this variant together. And a part of that is not to overreact. And this is what South Africa claimed, that the travel ban was based on overreaction from the British travel ban. And this was understandable at their level. So now South Africa have decided to stand up their ground, reopen their country, and disregard anything that could continue to keep down Africa and being blamed for a variant all over the place. Going forward, this year is the 35th annual of Africa Union in Ethiopia, their summit meeting that they do every year in January. And a lot of people are having hopeful expectations of what the Africa Union will do differently this year, especially through the pandemic and everything that has happened already. How can Africa Union speak on their authenticity, on building Africa, and also creating a better ground for the citizens of Africa? Will all of this come to play? Will they stand their ground against the Western world influential, and also other demands from the other leaders as well? The AU theme for 2022 is building resilience in nutrition on the African continent, accelerate the human capital, social, and economic development. And this has been, this has raised some of the questions in many people, where previously some people have spoke up very truthfully at the African Union Summit, and later on were denied to be a part of the African Union. When Africa start standing up for Africa and start going against the first world countries' leaders, this is when change can start to happen in Africa. Because a lot of the resources in Africa and a lot of the goods that are in Africa are advancing and developing first world countries, and it is time for Africa to finally stand their ground to use their own resources for their benefit. And now you have China that is building Africa and doing a lot for Africa with fine letters of contracts, which could lead Africa to another 99 years, pretty much we just say 100 years in slavery. And would that lead to it? Will Africa stand up against it? Will they start paying attention to the fine words? Will they start resisting bribery of money? How will they negotiate to work so that it benefits both parties and not just the first world trying to gain out of Africa alone? So these are a lot of the questions that has been raised up, and hopefully they will be addressed at this meeting. They just started the ceremony not a few days ago, so whatever meetings they have, results will be fine later. So we hope for the best for Africa, and this time for Africa to stand up for Africa people. The 34th AU Summit strives to ensure that as a continental body, no country is left behind in the COVID-19 response, as well as we enhance integration. So this is also another thing too with COVID. It could really make a huge impact on economic, also the people itself. It's time for Africa to really start looking at what is best for Africa, and not always become the underdog of the rest of the world. Now going forward to China, zero COVID policy. China has continued to push on the zero COVID policy and have become more strict and pushing a lot more on it. China, which has largely kept the coronavirus at bay since 2020, is going to ever more extreme lengths to try to quell the outbreaks that have proliferated around the country in recent weeks. And the growing numbers of people are finding their lives suddenly upended as a result. At least 20 million people in 3 cities were under full lockdown as recently as last week. But subjected to partial lockdowns and also mass testing, during the past month, at least 30 major Chinese cities have responded locally transmitted COVID cases. The case numbers themselves are minuscule by global standards, and no COVID deaths have been reported in China during the current wave. Now, could that be true or not? That we don't always know for sure. But it's impossible to believe that there wouldn't be any COVID deaths with all the million lives that have been lost throughout the whole entire pandemic. And with China always keeping a good image, this is what they are telling the world. Adding to the sense of urgency, there also has been a lot of discovery in Beijing, where the Winter Olympic is supposed to take place. And will the Olympic continue to go on? They are putting a lot of restrictions on it as well, and even several neighborhoods have been sealed off. And the authorities have stepped up testing requirements for entering and leaving the capitals. Officials said this week that the Olympic tickets would not be sold in public by anyone because of the concern of the virus. So with zero COVID policy, how long could China keep up with it? How long could they continue to press on restrictions and everything that they are trying really hard to prevent? Will this stop the Olympic? Will that affect a lot of the people that are traveling? There's been many controversies on that to really look into the detail if you are going to the Olympic or if the Olympic continues to go forward due to the zero COVID policy. How will China be able to control the rest of the world other than the Chinese citizen itself? So the authorities have suggested that the first Omicron case in Beijing may have come from a package in Canada. They have since called on people across China to use caution when opening mails from overseas. This is how extensive China have gone far with the COVID. In Beijing, mail is being subjected to at least 4 rounds of disinfection. Even though experts said the risk of contracting the virus from the surface, especially paper or cardboard, are very, very low. China is still playing super careful with the COVID. Now going on to what is going on here in the USA. Could this be the end of the civilization collapse in some of the largest cities that has been known for major marketing, branding, and things that what is United States known for? And the 3 largest cities are New York City, Austin, and San Francisco. The property have gone to a very, very large scale at this point since the pandemic. The property started very slowly with 1, 2, 3, 4 people having tent on the side of the street, especially in downtown areas. And within a month after, it has grew large, and larger, where more people are just falling into poverty. And a lot of these are with the propaganda that has been mentioned of middle class being demolished. Now, if you're middle class, you're either going to go up to the rich upscale or you're going to go down to poverty. So many people are showing signs of poverty. There's been a huge rise of poverty in these 3 major cities. In San Francisco, it pretty much looked like a third world country with many of the with many of garbages around, and people still in tent and things that are just not looking good for the country itself. In New York, there's still been a lot of protests going on. In Austin, there's things are just getting worse there. So the latest update, a lot of mails have been going out, and the containers have been hijacked by the thieves. And many of those containers holds a lot of mails like home testing kit, things that are very important to these citizens, and they have been hijacked by the thieves. And their tricks are to take down one container, as many as they can, and try to steal as many containers as they can. And when even as far as messing with the tracks, and a lot of these are happening in San Francisco. So whether there'll be accountability, what will that lead, the law of accountability, where will that lead the citizens, because it's affecting everyone. People that are in poverty are taking what they can, and people that probably have already paid for it, and worked hard for those things are also being affected by it as well. And most of these major stores like Amazon's they can only do refund in most of these cases. But where does that lead with our mail system? Will that, take us down even further, or will things be implemented and get better by the law-abiding citizens or the government ruling of those areas? So these are the updates we want to share with you. More details to come on some of the things with the Olympic, what to expect, where it's going to go, and how it's going to go, and also our system here in the U.S. Will poverty continue to rise, or will there be a prevention of poverty? So have a wonderful night.
This is Sam Daly of Cultural Group Benefit Company, a group life insurance designed for cultural association. We've done this program now for 21 years. The program is approved in 46 states. It's a group life insurance program. I want to emphasize it's a group life insurance program for cultural association, guaranteed without any pre-existing medical conditions. Please, cultural community, there's no need for GoFundMe. We have a program designed for cultural association. Please, if you want to know more about this program, visit our website, www.culturalgroupbenefits.com, or call me directly, 763-593-5107. Thank you.